Great to meet you, my name is MiriQL and welcome back to another tutorial. And before we start this video, I would like to notify you that in the end of the video there is one very important question that I want to ask you guys. So please, after the tutorial is finished, stay for about 5 minutes to hear what I have to say. This time, we're going to be looking at how to make the cartoons in the Storetails way. This video will show the whole process from start to finish. Now, right now what I'm doing is I'm coloring the character model for Janosch. You might have seen the latest heroic highlights where I used this character. So this tutorial will be based on that clip. All the character models are done in MS Paint using similar techniques as I'm showing you right here, right now. The way I did his face was that I just went to WoW Armory and then I took a screenshot of his face, put it in Paint, and then I just resized it to fit the regular human model that I've done already long time ago. So basically, just make your character, not the same way as I'm doing here, but make your own character in MS Paint, and you can use any kind of colors, you can use any kind of brush. I'm using the pencil tool because the pencil is pixel accurate, so it won't do any kind of smudging, blending, stuff like that. I want the individual pixels. That's why I use the pen tool. I'm actually using now 3 different shades of colors for the model, just to show some more details than usual, because normally I only use 2 shades of color because that's already enough for the shadows. Right now that that's done, it's time to recolor the background, and we need to choose a color that the character is not having. For this character, this particular character, he doesn't wear any green anywhere, so the green background is perfect. Now I'm going to save the character model. Actually, I forgot to paint over his hair. So let me just do that quickly. Now I'll place pupils on this model, and his eyebrows needs finishing work. And since he's playing as the school professor, I'm going to add glasses to this character. I'll just play basic ellipse tool, gray color, like so, and then just fill the borders with black. And here I'll be adding the stick, whatever the teachers use to hit the students, adding the stick on his hand. The reason I do that here is because he will always be having the stick in his hand, and it will be a lot easier to animate him using the stick when the stick is already in his hand in the character model. You'll see later how useful it is to add these items on the character models themselves rather than editing them on them in Sony Vegas. Also, another thing to remember is to save all these character model files in separate files. One without the pupils in the eyes, and then one with the pupils in the eyes. If the character that you will be using is not having a stick in his hand, then one without the stick in his hand, etc. This will make it a lot easier to animate later. Right, so save the files, as I said, different voice files, bring them to Sony Vegas. One key difference here, I used Movie Studio 12 previously on the previous tutorial. On this tutorial I'll be using Sony Vegas Pro 13. It will work on pretty much any version of the Pro, but this tutorial will not be applicable to versions that don't have the mask tool in the pan and crop section. The masking tool is very important for this animation, so you need to have this in order to animate it this way. What I'm doing here right now is I'm placing the characters ready for the scenes. I'm not going to show the whole process of animating every single scene. I will just animate one scene, and then you can use the same tips to animate the rest of the scenes. So let's start. Flip horizontal so that he's facing the whiteboard. Oh, and by the way, the background was made in MS Paint again. I just went to Google and I searched for a whiteboard. I found one, and then I just erased everything that was not the whiteboard and whatever was in the whiteboard, and just saved it again. How to make the character walk. A very simple task to do, not necessarily the simplest task to animate. So what you want to do is to place 2 keyframes, one at the beginning where he's coming from, and one till the end where he will be walking to. And then in between, we're just going to move this up and down in separate keyframes, like so. Up, down, up, and down, till the end. And it will look like he's walking.
What's going to be?
Like that. You can copy and paste the last keyframe and then enter the second file, paste it there, so that he'll be standing where he stopped before. This is also a very good example of why it is easier to just add the pupils to the character in the character itself, because when I was animating this walking thing, it would be very hard to trace the pupils for the character if they would be separate files. Okay, so let's start with the mask tool. So you open the video event FX, pan and crop, and you see that little icon and the tick box down there that says masks. You click that, and then you go to anchor creation tool, and you just start tracing around the area that you want to animate. Then you press this little minus button down here, so it will erase this area of the character. The reason that you do this twice, as you can see, I've copied the same character twice here on the timelines, so that on one of them it has selected only the hand, and on the other one it has unselected the hand. So let's start animating the hand finally. It's very simple. It's like basic keyframes, and to have it rotate properly, make sure that you put the center ball of the pan and crop on the shoulder on the arm, so that the movement, the rotation starts from the shoulder. And then you just place a few keyframes here and there. And this is basically what it should be looking like now.
And then we're going to have melee, and then there's a gap in between.
And now let's go to the hard part of animating, the mouth. Let's move these up, give some space to put the mouth down here, because I want to see this audio file, to see the peaks of the audio. It will help a lot when you're doing this. And these mouths, they're just basic mouths for different noises like A, E, P, S, L, and they're all separate. And the reason I have them twice is because the bigger ones, they're not very good to use on models that are very small. So that's why I have the 1280p versions of them. Okay, and the next part is really difficult to master, but with enough practice you will be able to notice what these peaks mean. Now you have to visualize in your head how your mouth moves when you say what it's going to be. When you say the word what, your mouth goes O, A, and T. You notice that I'm playing the audio
What's gonna be?
many times because the way Janos speaks is really fast, so I'm having a bit of difficulties to pick the right mouth for him. But I'm going to skip a few mouths, let's say, and just make it as obvious as possible. I think that's good. What it's going to be. And then is. We're. So start with O. We're gonna have. So again, the U will come later again. N. Gonna have. So again, A. Have. We're gonna have. F. We're gonna have. Okay.
Is we're gonna have ranged?
Then start with U because, or with O because ranged. The way we say ranged, your mouth goes O. Range. Ranged. And okay, so and this and then, so there will be a T and E right here, and rinse and repeat. Basically, this is how you do the mouths. Now, I've put all the mouths, so I will be moving them on top of the layers so that they are on top of the characters, obviously. And then just place the light green chroma key effect on one of the mouths. Not all of them, just one. And let's use the E one because E is very easy to place on the character. And then we will copy this, select all the mouths, right click, and paste event attributes. Now that means that all of the mouths that we selected so far, they will share all the special effects, they will share all the pan and crop information, they will share everything with each other. So this is a very good tool to copy those informations like the chroma key effect, information where it's positioned in the pan and crop, all that stuff. And for this I want to credit Hiru. Hiru mentioned this to me when I was doing my first Storetails. It helped me a lot. No, actually he mentioned it on the first tutorial that I made, which again helped me a lot. So thank you, Hiru.
So what it's going to be is we're going to have ranged, and then we're going to have melee, and then there's a gap in between. And then when there's...
Right, so it's looking pretty good. And the things that are missing is his pupils, his eyes of course. So let's add them now. For you it will be a lot easier to animate the eyes again if you have placed the eyes separately in a separate image file exactly where the character's eyes would be originally, but that won't matter. Here I've placed it on the center. That means that I will have to play around with the pan and crop tool to position the eyes correctly. I just put a little rotation so he doesn't look retarded. More retarded than he already is looking. And really simple, just place the positioning however you want. Separate them with keyframes. And that's pretty much it. That's how you make Storetails cartoons. This is what it should be looking right.
So what it's going to be is we're going to have ranged, and then we're gonna have melee, and then there's a gap in between. And then when there's nightmare blade...
Right. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know if there was something unclear about this. I'll try to clear it up in the comments. And if you decide to make any cartoons, be sure to send me a link, because I'll be happy to see them. The thing I wanted to talk about in the end of the video was that I made a poll in Facebook on my page asking which game I should be playing next, or which game I should be recording next. This gameplay will be uploaded to MiriQL Games channel. That's the other channel that I'm uploading everything not related to movies and stuff. So I wanted to connect with the fans. I didn't get as many responses as I'd hoped, so that's why I'm now asking here on YouTube the same question. And here are the options. You should see them on screen. Maybe on mobile or tablet you won't be seeing them. Maybe they are annotations. I'm not really sure yet. I'll see how YouTube handles this. But basically these are the games that I'm owning. I'll be owning more in the future when I have the funds. So basically here are the options. Heroes of the Storm. It's a free to play. I've been playing it before and I've recorded it before with friends. Then Prop Hunt. This is the Garry's mod, one of the modes that is really fun to play, even solo, even funnier with friends. But this time I'll be playing it in solo. Then I have 7 Days to Die. This is the survival crafting horror whatever game. I'll be playing that with my girlfriend. The Long Dark, an early access survival game. Overwatch. This is again with friends. I'm not going to play it solo and record that. Diablo 3. This I will be playing solo with the season grinding. And then just regular Gmod, making giant trash penises or whatever, flying objects, something that will bug out and not work. So please vote here. What would you like to see me play on MiriQL Games channel? Subscribe to MiriQL Games if you haven't and you are interested. And thank you for watching. I hope you learned something today. I hope I was helpful. If not, share your concerns in the comments and I'll try to clear it up as clearly as I can. Keep your feet on the ground. See you next time.